start off with a look back at last week and some much better darts than I could dish up. And we'll go to Barnsley, where we had 4 Players' Championship events. And we've got a new winner on the Pro Tour, Josh Rock, winning the last event of the weekend. And it brings us to our question of the week. Will Josh Rock be ranked this time next year? The options are top 16, top 32 or top 64. What are you going with?
It's a brutally difficult question because all of it comes down to how does he do in the televised events? And I'll get to answering it in a second. But his winning the title is the most unsurprising thing that's happened this year. I know I've said it, I'm pretty sure you said it, but it was just a matter of time before he did go all the way and lift a title. What he's been doing this year on the floor and recently, when we started to see him play more on the European Tour on the stage as well, is something that very few people have done. That's why he's now up to number 2 in the FDI rankings as things currently stand, behind only Michael van Gerwen. If anything, he looks a better player, at least on the floor right now, than MVG has been, and arguably at least on par with him on the stage. But we haven't seen him play a long-form match. He didn't qualify for the World Match Play. He didn't qualify for the World Grand Prix. He hasn't had to play any of those longer matches. Yes, the semifinals was best out of 13. The final was best out of 15. And he showed that he can keep up his standard and play at that 103 that he was averaging across the day, even when he's playing a slightly longer match. But it becomes something different when you're doing that right off the bat. Best out of 19 like you would, or best out of 18, since you have to win by 2 clear legs in the first round of the World Match Play. And at the World Championships, best out of 5 sets, which means you're going to have to win at least 9 legs to get out of the first round. So how he plays in front of a big crowd in a longer form match is still a question. But there is no doubt that he has the game to do it. It just is that experience of bringing that game to the big stage over a longer format that he doesn't yet have. But when the year started, he didn't have the experience of playing the Pro Tour. He didn't have the experience of playing the best players in the world, even over best out of 11 legs. And yes, it took him some time to get results, but it did not take him any time to be averaging ton plus. He kept going out with those ton plus averages earlier in the year. So he was raising eyebrows, but not getting the results to back it up. Now he's getting both. And I think he really is the real deal. That number 2 ranking in the FDI rankings doesn't seem too far-fetched. He really is playing better than anyone else right now, other than maybe Michael van Gerwen, Gerwen Price, and Peter Wright and Damon Hedda. There's a few people at the very top of the game who are able to match him and exceed him at times, but that's it. I think he's already on pace to be top 64 by the end of the year, probably top 48, even if he doesn't go and make a run in any televised event. I think he will, draw dependent, make a run somewhere, whether that's the Players' Championship Final, whether that's the World Championship, whether that's the beginning of the year at the UK Open. It's going to come. And all it's going to take is a couple of those deep runs to suddenly see him become not just top 32, but easing towards the top 16. I think he has a major championship or a runner-up in him in the next 12 months in a ranking event. Therefore, I'm going to say top 16. There's no doubt he's one of the 16 best players in the world. Right now, I would say he's one of the top 8 best players in the world. The question is, will he get that result on television that's needed to draw him into the top 16 by then? I am going to say yes. So I'm going top 16, and he's not stopping there. If he keeps progressing, if he keeps playing at this level, and if his confidence doesn't get dented, which I don't think it will if it didn't get dented by the fact that he kept losing with a ton plus average for half this calendar year. It's just a question of how high up does he go? Top 8, top 4, neither of those would surprise me right now.
Looking at how the poll is going at the moment on our Twitter, we've had over 300 votes already. So thanks to everyone that's voted so far, and it is open for the rest of the week. So go and have a vote, have your say on where you think Josh Rock will be ranked this time next year. And at the moment, 29% of you going with top 16 like you are, 64% going with the top 32 and 7% going with the top 64. And a few of our listeners have tweeted in as well, David Gannon, saying if he has a good run at the Worlds, then I see no reason why he can't be in the top 16 by then. We'll have had that experience on the biggest stage in darts ready for other majors like the Match Play next year. And Daniel Bent also saying top 16 by the final of the World Championship. So, yeah, whether he makes that step into the top 32 or the top 16 is going to be how he fares in the TV events, isn't it? Because that's where we're now going to see him. And we've seen so much of Josh Rock this year in the Players' Championships, in the Euro Tours. This kind of hard to believe that this week at the European Championship, that will be his TV debut. He played the UK Open earlier this year, but that was in the multi-board room, and I remember being in there for his game with Damien Mole, where he looked in a good position to go and win that game, but missed match darts and ended up losing 6-5. But that was probably one of only a few disappointments that Josh has had in this first year on the tour, because, as you say, right from the first weekend, he's been posting big averages, 100-plus averages, and at the beginning, the results didn't come with it, but we've seen, as the year's gone on, he's continued to perform at that high level, and he's started ticking off a lot of milestones, having deep runs on the floor, the Euro Tour, and the next step on that ladder was getting to his first Pro Tour final, which he did on Thursday, losing out to Dave Chisnell. And then 3 days later, goes one better, wins the last Players' Championship of the week, beating Luke Humphreys with that 108 average in the final. And Redbit180 on Twitter said that the tournament average that Josh had, that the 103.23, was the 7th highest tournament average by a winner of a Players' Championship since Dart Connect came in. So he's in very good company there. And John O'Shea, we've had on the show recently, said that Josh is an old head on young shoulders, still only 21, but he's quickly making a name for himself. And yeah, I'm interested to see how this next step of his career, this first year, is going to go, because he is going to be playing in a lot of TV events coming up now, and he's had Euro Tour experience with the cameras, with the crowds. But I guess the stakes go up, didn't they, with the TV events, because there is more money on the line, there is more eyes on you, and we'll see how he copes with that over the next few months. But given how he's crossed every single challenge so far, every single hurdle, you'd expect him to be top 32 minimum this time next year, top 16. Yeah, he's going to need some deep runs on the TV, so I'm going to hold back off that for the moment, but we'll see how he gets on in these TV events coming up. But yeah, top 64, he'll probably have that by this time next week, but top 32 I think is a safe bet. But he is one of the hottest properties in darts in the PDC at the moment, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here.